There were some special visitors in the house tonight at Frostbank Arena in San Antonio. You got Luke Cornett trying to get some extra juices flowing through his body in order to make an impact for the San Antonio Spurs. 6 points, 7 rebounds, 13 minutes. I think that's good production in the amount of minutes that he played. San Antonio is looking to bounce back from game 3 in game 4, trying to pick up a victory over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and his squad, winning 2 straight. Victor Wembanyama is showing that it's a lot that you have to learn in the playoffs because he's having ups and he's having downs. He's inconsistent in this series. But on the flip side, we see Oklahoma finally being challenged by a team in the playoffs. And this team, the San Antonio Spurs, that is, they match up pretty well with the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder have the advantage only because they've been in this spot a time or two. Now, with that being said, the San Antonio Spurs are learning on the fly, so they have a lot to overcome in this series. And what better team to get your first taste of playoff experience against than the Oklahoma City Thunder? The Oklahoma City Thunder in this series have shown that they have the ability to take over, but I didn't like what I saw in this game. They looked like a team that was okay with just tying it up and going back home because the Spurs came out and sent the message. And this is what the Spurs do. Well, I'm going to say this is what they've done. I'm not going to say what they do because this is the first time. But since their first series, every time they are faced with some type of adversity, they come back and respond. Not only that, I've noticed something about this team. They go as Victor Wembanyama go. If Victor Wembanyama goes out there and just plays like a player that's, not an all NBA caliber MVP candidate, then the Spurs lose. But if Wemby goes out there and play like a defensive player of the year, top 5 MVP favorite, all NBA, all team defense, this Spurs team is untouchable. So he has to learn how to be consistent. And this game was over as quickly as it started. Now, granted, the Oklahoma City Thunder are dealing with some injuries. AJ Mitchell didn't play in this game. But I don't want to hear any excuses from Oklahoma because they got Jared McCain. They got Chet. They got a lot of players on this team that we've seen throughout the season. They had a winning record without their all-stars. They had a winning record without Chet in the lineup. They had a winning record without SGA. They had a winning record without Jalen Williams, and that's Jalen Williams with the L and an A. I think that's how you spell it. Whatever the case may be, Jalen Williams, their guard and not their center. This game was over, like I said, as quickly as it started. Final score of 103-82. Game 5 should be a fun one. Chet Holmgren, 10 points. Cason Wallace, 5 points. You're not going to get it done when your starters. Julian Champagnie scored. The defense that the Spurs had on display tonight is the reason why this series momentum is shifted slightly in favor of the San Antonio Spurs. And when you look at the end box score for the players, the starters, the only player that scored 20 points in this game was Victor Wembanyama, and they won by 21. Now, what's scary is the fact that defensively, the San Antonio Spurs can do just what the Oklahoma City Thunder can do. But the Oklahoma City Thunder were missing AJ Mitchell and Jalen Williams, 2 players that were missing in the regular season, and they have winning records without in the lineup AJ Mitchell and Jalen Williams. Now, on the flip side, the San Antonio Spurs focused so much on defense this game that most of their starters forgot how to score. Nobody reached 20 points, just like for Oklahoma City. Now, I'm saying it's defense, but I think it was more that the Oklahoma City Thunder were kind of disinterested in this game, and it showed in their scoring output and their focus. Nobody on that team in their starting lineup scored more than 20 points. Not even SGA. Now, you can credit that to the Spurs defense, or you can credit that to Oklahoma being okay with tying up the series and going back to their house to possibly take a 3-2 series lead going back to San Antonio. But what I will tell you is you can never disrespect an opposing team by doing that. You got to make a statement, especially if you've been in this situation before in the Western Conference Finals and you've been to the NBA Finals. You cannot give a team like the San Antonio Spurs any confidence because they know that they can beat you. They've done it during the regular season. Now, for the San Antonio Spurs, y'all got to have a little bit more consistency. I'm not going to go too crazy on the San Antonio Spurs when I say this, simply because I understand that most of their players are in their first and second year. Not only that, this is, as a majority for them, their first time in the playoffs outside of De'Aaron Fox and Luke Cornett. So, two of their veterans that get most of the playing time. Harrison Barnes has fallen out of the rotation due to injury, and he hasn't found a way back in. And outside of those three players, nobody on this team has any playoff success or any time in the playoffs. Having a 2-2 lead going back to Oklahoma and not knowing if you're going to have Jalen Williams back for not just this series, but for the NBA Finals, because if he's came back after injuring his hamstring and he re-injured it, that tells you that he was never healthy. It was still some soreness in that hamstring, and he just tried to play through it. But the San Antonio Spurs, 50 points in the paint versus 36. Second chance points, who really cares about that? 30 or 91, 35 or 90. They shot mainly the same thing from the field and as well from three. Shot basically the same, 18%, 27%. Okay, I'm tweaking when I say that. But all in all, what I take from this game is that the Spurs focus more on defense and the Oklahoma City Thunder focus more on going back home tied 2-2, and that showed in the final score.